And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in the Banished Vault. We are continuing where we left off in the run. We are in the Vyoevot system, I believe, if I read the system name from the last video correctly. We've got 2 of the 4 Chronicle components complete. We need to get 2 more to be ready to effectively win the game. This system doesn't look too bad as far as getting a Chronicle step. We don't have to go all the way to the bottom of the system to do it. And the hazard, while there is one in the way, is a strength 2 hazard. So most of our characters should be able to safely get past it. Is they basically need to do a 2-up roll on their faith roll. We do have a person with 5 faith, so for example, you'd roll 5 dice and you just got to get 2-up on the d6. Pretty high probability of success. So I think it's going to be pretty viable here to get at least number 6. We do probably want more stasis in case we have to skip a system. We're going to always want to make more fuel while we're in system. But that's about it. That doesn't actually... And we'll probably collect knowledge. We'll be out looking for knowledge if we're not working on that stuff. So looking back here, we got a weary person, a guy with 0 faith. So we're going to go shove him in the chapel. Next turn, he'll have 1 faith, and we'll have spent 1 elixir to do it. It's maybe a little tempting to do it with the 5 faith guy, so we can put him up to 6. But I think we will pass on that opportunity. Again, the place that has the biggest hazard that we're probably going to visit is the number 2. I'll probably not bother with going in this rung. Or if I do, it'll be because we've got surplus time, so we can send the guy back and get him. Probably not going to go past the 6 down here. The high spin 6. That just means we're just going to probably ignore that planet. 6 up on a 6d6 is a bit hard, so even with 6 dice, it's a 1 in... like 50-50 chance, right? Or the mean expected value is to succeed there, so let's avoid that. At the same time, I need to plan how we want to go about the system. I think we picked up a new engine. So we got the Dardi engine, which is 15 more efficiency. The same amount of thrust. And we got a new ship. 12 cargo, 4 travelers, 5 mass, thrust -5. So the Ibis here is going to be so big we can't land on any planets where we need thrust. On the other hand, it can haul a lot of stuff about, which is what makes it tempting to build. Although then the question is, do we actually need more ships right now? Thinking we want to plan on taking a trip down to the planet here. It is a 2 thrust entry. Usually that means we want to do something like the cargo ship. Cargo ship with a thicker engine. It's probably far enough along that we don't want to do a big mono burn down. Yeah, no. So we're gonna be thinking, okay, let's go orbit. Doing orbit, we can do orbit on the fuel efficient engine. And then we only need 12 energy to get there. So that's 4. That's a lot more viable. And then it's 9 to land. Okay, so it's a stack of fuel out, a stack of fuel in. Fairly easy to do. Yeah, stack of fuel out, stack of fuel in. We'll keep the 7 fuel on the ship in case we want to stop anywhere else. If we're going for a scriptorum, we're going to be looking to bring 2 alloy, 2 elixir along. And we gotta go past the hazard. That's the only hazard I think we need to deal with. There may not be a hazard on the planet, or there may be a hazard on the planet. Let's send our highest skill person along to do that. He will be the navigator to get past the hazard. Everyone else might actually want to be in the chapel at least once before they go through anything that is a guaranteed hazard. We had a couple places where we can go that aren't guaranteed ones. So we can go there, we can go here, we can go here, we can go to these 2 places. We do have a water opportunity here. We might try to go to there just so we can get fuel going. I don't necessarily want to run the fuel past the difficult landing because it's ship damage, and ship damage on a fail. And that's a place where we probably want to transit a bit. So I think we're going to go for fuel here. Do I want to bring with me? Do I want to bring anything else along to the hallowed planet? Then the next question of voice this guy off. We think we've got enough to get him there. And if we got enough to get him there, we probably have enough to get him to the fuel location. We're probably going to want one place to get iron. Although no, I've got 2 stacks of iron in the stockpile. I can burn through our iron on our ships. So yeah, we're looking for fuel, which is iron, titanium, water. So we want a place that's got water, so we can turn the water into fuel. We got water there. I think that might be... We got water there, we got water on the hallowed planet. So it might be a little bit tempting to bring some iron along to do fueling on the hallowed planet, even though I don't really want to do fueling on the water on the hallowed planet. Because it would be a little bit tedious to get in and out past the hazard. Same sort of thing here, it'd be a little tedious to get in and out past the hazard. That's another potentially good spot. Oh, that's 30 burned down, so that's going to be a pretty long trip. Only one thrust. So I'm thinking, yeah, we do water there, we do water there, we do water in those 2. I don't think I need more iron. What do we need for stasis? Water, titanium, carbon. Any place with water, titanium, and I'm saying carbon and CO2. Carbon, water, titanium. So there's probably our stasis producer. So we want to probably bring enough along that we can do water, or do fuel and stasis there. So fuel and stasis. Iron, titanium, iron, titanium, I was about to say aluminum, alloy. Okay. For the stasis producer. Is no iron on that location, so we'll have to drag the iron in. Does have titanium, so we could potentially use the iron to get titanium being extracted. If we bring along aluminum, or not aluminum, an alloy. Right, we need 1 alloy for the stasis. We make the titanium in situ. We bring along a stack of 9 iron, which is hopefully enough iron to make all the things we need. Because we're thinking 1 for the stasis producer, 1 for the fuel producer. And we need to have titanium made in situ, so that's another 1 for the miner, 2 for the water, so we're up to 5, 7. And we got a surplus of 2, which we may need for the... Oh, it'll actually be 1 short if we need extractor number 2. Hopefully we don't need extractor number 2 for that. Okay, so we're thinking for you to go down to the bottom of the system. Could always explore with a font 79 instead. Need to go deeper system. Okay, we're thinking probably transit to you there for fuel. I'm gonna push 1 deeper in the system, try to do fuel, stasis down there. We are going to want to explore the system, although we might want to explore the system with this guy, because he can safely get past all the hazards, mostly. Except for the 6. Probably just skip going to the 6, don't go to the high spin location. Granted, he could probably safely get there, just at risk. More risk than I think the exploration's worth. And then there's other places we can get iron in the system. If we run a little short on iron, okay. 2 and 4. Okay, so exploring up here to see what's up here can be done pretty easily. We don't know if there's any hazards, although the hazards are only going to really affect us on exploiting the planets. There. So we can do the exploration with a low faith crew member. The ones that build want to probably be higher faith, so we do a 3 on you, 3 on you. The next question is, do I want to do any construction, right? Do I want to go about actually building the really big ship? Which is 5 alloy. Oh, okay, so we don't have enough alloy to build the really big ship. Yeah, don't have enough alloy to build the really big ship. So we'll have to build more alloy in system. What do I need to make alloy? I'll just simplify making it. Iron, titanium to build it, iron, titanium, silica to craft it. So we're looking for a place that has iron, silica, and titanium. Could technically sort of cobble together something between those two. We need it to. No titanium down on the hallowed planet. Okay, no planet has all the resources. So I'll have to do a mix. Have to move stuff from one to another. Probably would be these two up here. If we were to go for a ship. We need more ally to do that, so. Do I send these guys exploring, or do I send these guys to build stuff? I think we send these guys to build stuff. I'm going to take the gamble when we go out that we have enough iron up here to build. It's also less of a priority. We can pretty easily get back from up here. So we're going to send the two higher faith people, but the fact that they're two means they're not going to be particularly great at doing anything. You're the one I'm thinking of sending deeper in the system to do stasis. We'll send the other faith person along. Because if there's no hazards, then the extra faith is less important, and the more actions will be useful. Okay, so that's roughly what we want to do with all the counselors, or not all the counselors, all our exiles here. Let's start committing. So that's not exactly a commitment, but close enough. You're the explorer. I'm gonna have you travel there first, and this. You can see what we're going to sort of run into with the Explorer. The Explorer is really, really mobility efficient. We're paying 1 fuel, which is giving us 11 energy to go to a 4 energy spot. There's maybe even a question: do I want to go? It would be 2 down there. Yeah, I think we still go there with 1 energy. I want to know what's there. So obviously, massive burn all the way down is not the greatest plan. So we want to break it up because we want to do like 9 down, 9 up. Just in case we get down there and can't figure out that we can't realistically do fuel. So we need to break that jump up. A couple different ways to do that. So we've got 7. Is there any places I can stop on the way that cost about 7? 12. That's 25. Okay, so that's the big... Yeah, 15 to go, because I don't want to come out on this step here because of the hazard. Yeah, don't come out on that step because of the hazard. So we're looking between 9 and here. Quite a big jump. Yeah, let's do the 2 fuel down to there, and then we can probably burn 7 fuel down here. And splitting up into 2 will probably save enough fuel that we can make the transit. Worst case scenario, we can always give up and go up to a higher orbit to do some refueling. I think we're thinking we're going to have a fuel refinery set up there. Let's commit to that burn. Your task is to go there. We know you can do that with 2 fuel. Insufficient thrust. Because it's a high thrust landing takeoff. Okay. We can still work that. Just take along the higher, less fuel-efficient engine. So we'll spend 1 to get there, and we'll have to spend, swapping the engines, 2 to land. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we've got you. You're going to go to the orbital position first, where you don't need to do that with the fuel-efficient engine, costing 5 to get down there, and then you can land, or 4 to get down there, and then you can land with the more fuel-inefficient engine, build the thing, take off. Okay, so we're basically committed at this point. First turn done, 29 turns to go. You get some information about the system. No artifacts in orbit. No artifacts in orbit. There is iron and titanium here. Both the native iron and the titanium would be extractable. No artifacts here. There is, however, not enough iron to mine the iron. There's enough to mine the titanium, although we're not going to commit to that right now. Okay. So we might need to go over to the other one to pick up more iron. There is iron here. In fact, if we pick up the iron here, we'll have the right amount of iron. And there's no artifacts here. Shame. Okay, so the only building we want to build here is probably silica harvester. We could put the alloy producer here because of good space. Although probably holing reasons means we probably want to put it in the other location. Let's think about putting it in the other location. I'm not going to run the hazard to check the last location out there. What are we looking at to get there? 2 fuel. Commit that burn. Burn over there, pick up the iron and the silicon. Swap rolls. Burn back. Little fuel inefficient doing that. But we now got the stuff on site that we can build up the desired industries here. Because it's just iron and titanium. So we've now got enough iron that we can build the iron extractor, which will allow us to make the iron, to make the titanium harvester, which then, with more iron from the iron mine, allows us to build the alloy producer. We can boost our alloys and be happy. I probably don't necessarily have enough silica, although we could pop over to the other one, pick up more silica once we have the iron to set the silica mine up as well. Plants. Okay, so you've got 1 faith. So one question is, do I want more drives? What do I need for the drive? I need an alloy, I need methane. I got the alloy, I got the methane. Let's have you make that drive right now. Oh, it's also cheaper to make. It costs 1 alloy instead of 3. Nice. Yeah, fabricate us one of those engines, please. And that only actually takes one of his actions up. We'll go ahead and pick up more faith on him, because he's stranded there until we bring another ship back to do construction with. Okay, that's the turn. And the turn. We get information on the orbit. Orbit is boring. Oh well, we can harvest CO2 in the orbit. Otherwise, fairly boring. We do an engine swap to land. In this place, we want to make water, mainly just water and fuel, right? Harvester, water, converter, fuel. And we brought along enough iron. There is local titanium. We could extract more titanium if we need more titanium. We don't need it right now. Oh, we forgot to check if there's any artifacts. There are 10 one-knowledge artifacts. So not a good place to get artifacts from, but it is a place to get artifacts from. Again, we'll have you spending elixir to become more faithful while we're waiting to send a ship over there. We now get more information. Okay, so it's a 20 fuel burn. I just realized something. We might not have enough thrust on this ship to actually land on this planet, do I? No. Because I've only got -1 thrust. Or no, 2 minus 1 thrust. Oh no, I have 1 thrust, so I can land on the planet. Can I burn to the planet in 7 fuel? Okay, that'll work. So we can go down there and come back up. Let's commit to that burn. Oh, that I hadn't realized. I had assumed most of the time when you got rungs like this, there's a time increment on each of the rungs. So we were able to get there in 1 burn. It's an expensive burn, but we get there immediately. Okay, from a harvesting standpoint, we do want to harvest all the things. Okay. So we need to resource extractor 1 in the top left corner. We're gonna need, because I want to make stasis here. I'm either going to be able to refine the stasis here or make the silica here. Not both. We don't have the space for both. Oh, actually, what do I need to make the stasis? Double check the stasis. Stasis is water, titanium, carbon. Okay, so I can overwrite the silica and not care. That's why we're double checking. Oh, I'm seeing another potential problem. Yeah, I'm seeing another potential problem. I don't have space for the CO2 harvester. Because it's also square. Okay. Oh, this presents us an interesting situation. So I can get the CO2 in orbit. Two iron for the structure, 1 for the harvester, and we can harvest the CO2 in orbit. Okay, that's maybe not ideal because we got to do up and down to do that, but we can do that. Totally do that. Okay. It would be even better if I could do a fuel producer here, but I can't do that and get the titanium. Yeah. Can't produce the fuel in space yet. Yes, we might need to be a little bit concerned about our fuel, because we actually don't have enough... Don't have enough fuel to bank trips back and forth from ground to orbit. To bring the CO2 in. Although we're hoping that we're going to be getting fuel someplace else. We don't have to go all the way back out, but yeah. Yeah, I'm going to commit to this. We don't have enough titanium either. I can't build a stasis producer. here. Until I bring more titanium in, which we would need to ship in. Okay, we'll follow up on that in a moment. Let's get the information from our other locations. So, no artifacts in orbit. No artifacts in this orbit? Correct. There's methane in that orbit. We do want to take the burn down to the planet, so we need to swap engine types. It's a 9 fuel, or 9 energy burn, which is a 5 fuel drop. We have it, so it's not a problem. Rolling 2 up on 5 dice should be easy enough, so no real concern here. What's the state of the planet? 10 1 knowledge artifacts, so we're probably not going to harvest all those. We could do fuel here, we could do iron here. But the big reason we showed up is for Scriptorum. Okay, so I can't both do iron here and water if I want the Scriptorum. Yeah, can't both do iron and water here if I want the Scriptorum. We've got an iron mine someplace else in the system, so I'll overwrite the iron mine. Like so. The ground over here has one 20 knowledge artifact. Otherwise, a unremarkable silicon extraction point. We'll have the scout get out and harvest the artifact. Obviously, the scout has not got the capacity to pick it up, but he has the ability to harvest it, which is useful in its own right. In the upper system, we're going to continue our process of making the alloy. I don't need a lot of alloy to build that really massive ship. I suppose the other alternative is I can drag the titanium. Well, actually, I don't need to. I need to drag one titanium in, obviously, to do the stasis producer. Do I drag the silica in as well? Do I drag the silica in as well? Although it doesn't really matter. Oh, I don't need the depth extractor, do I? Because I'm looking. Water. Oh no, I am looking for titanium. So I'm doing the titanium. I need that deep one. Yeah, in which case I need the extractor. Okay. Oh, in which case I have the titanium to build you. Thing I'm missing is carbon. Okay, let's start building this. We think this is going to work. The thing that's up for debate is how I'm going to get fuel for the CO2. Okay, that's our actions, except for you. We have the iron for this construction, so we can get the fuel extractor out, and fuel producer out. And then we can just be cranking out fuel here. Yeah, so we got fuel there. We could have fuel there if I need it. Lower in the system. Yeah, could have fuel here if we wanted to lower in the system. Pretty easily. Oh, we're actually short the titanium. That would be the thing that would be holding us up. Okay. So the only person who hasn't acted this round is this guy who is still waiting for someone to come pick him up. That's where we're at. Okay, so we know for the producer we need the titanium. I got 3 actions here. Let's obviously build the script worm. It is impossible to produce stasis on a Volt. It's thought that the earliest interstellar craft did produce an early progenitor of stasis, but the knowledge was lost over the centuries. The prevailing rumor is that gravity is required, but regardless of reason, tradition prevails. A little bit of tidbit of why we build stasis where we build stasis. And we've got the iron for the water harvester, so we might as well assemble you. And I'll pick the water up and the silica up into the ship. And we'll break for orbit. And again, rolling a 2 up on a 5 dice roll is not too hard. What information do I want to glean with you? I'm not sure there's actually any information that I need from you at this point. I might have you stop over at the alloy mine to get that construction completed sooner. Because we need the alloy to build the ship. I want the really massive cargo ship moving around. Yeah, let's have you do the burn over. And then when you're done, I'll probably actually have you take a burn instead back to base, but back over to the water producer, fuel producer. Yeah, 2 turns. So next turn we'll have make water to make fuel. The turn after that we'll finish filling his cargo hold up with fuel, and then we'll probably send him back up there. Because even if we don't grab the big cargo ship, he has the cargo capacity to make that work better. Yes, we need water, titanium, carbon dioxide to make the stasis. So not really hard in this orbit. Thing that we're held up on is carbon, which we need to get from orbit. Sadly, I don't have the orbital fuel producer. Oh, as we do that in orbit too, we would hold water up and make fuel up there and bring it back down. I think for the moment we're going to leave these guys here and we're going to get extracting enough titanium and water that we've got, say, 3 stacks. Do I want 3? So 16 times 2 is 32. Yeah, so I at least want 3 stacks. Let's say we're going to make at least 3 stacks of water. So we can have these guys use their very efficient action points down here. Not waste the fuel having them leave yet to make our inputs. Okay, how much alloy do I want? I want at least 2 for the next system. Probably another one for your fuel producer. And then we want like 5 for the ship. Yeah, I think we go for full stack alloy. So that's basically a stack of iron or a stack of titanium, crafting wise. And then you're still stuck up in the vault with nothing to do except have your faith improved. Okay, that's the water made. Onto the titanium. Two to break orbit. Swap engines. Can I land at the fuel inefficient one with 2? No, I actually need more fuel. Although I could potentially get fuel by having the other one come up. That's what we'll do. Do I have any artifacts on this planet? All the really terrible ones. Okay. Okay, everyone's acted except for you. You're gonna hit 6 faith on the next cycle. So you're kind of just a little bored for the moment. A little bored. I forgot to bring the iron along. Okay, that was a waste of action, waste of fuel. I forgot to bring the iron along. We happen to have the iron. Oh, that was a real waste of iron. Okay. I probably brought too much iron along. Yeah. It's fine. Okay. Hop out. Make fuel. Hop in. Brake to orbit. Transfer fuel. So that the big one can land. Yeah, so the big one can land. Oh, that's actually an interesting thing. Do I have you... It's going to take like 2 stacks of fuel to get there and back. Yeah, okay, so I probably... No, you don't have enough cargo capacity to get there and back. Okay. And carry what I want you to carry. I was trying to decide if I wanted to try to drag Silica down, and the answer is no. Not yet, at least. You're still up there. You get these guys down here are going to still try to be productive while they're here. Really like to make the 3 stacks of stasis. Difficulty is to make that I need to drag 3 stacks of CO2 in. That could be as potentially as close as the orbit, but that's still not the easiest thing in the world to do. And then you're stuck there for the moment. Okay. Eight of 9, because I'm just going to make a whole stack of alloy to drag back. You're going to work on making the iron and the titanium that goes with it. Well, that's an interesting thing. I could make the titanium... Oh, no, I don't... You and I don't need titanium, don't I? Does the orbital building's a titanium? No, it's iron. The harvester is a titanium. Okay, so I need to bring... If I'm going to do methane, I need to bring 1 titanium 1. Starting on that last stack. Problem is, once I break for orbit, I don't have the fuel to safely land again without going to refuel. Although, that might be the thing, right, is without going to refuel, so I go refuel. Because we worked out, we got 9 fuel to get back up to there. That might actually mean I'm in a weird situation now. Maybe, well... I can do what I'm doing here, which is I can have the little one bring fuel up to orbit and pick up the fuel. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think we can make this work. It's going to be tedious. Okay, I've worked with tedious before. I'll just have to embrace it. And then I need 1 to take the orbit. We'll take the iron to orbit. We got 3 stacks of titanium, 3 stacks of water. Weirdly, once we make the methane, we're actually going to go out someplace else to get fuel before we come back to pick up the methane to drop off the planet. But it's time to take off. Okay, so we're doing a 1 fuel burn to orbit. And then I want to get to our refueling location, which is up there. Okay, that can be done. It's 1 fuel to there, 8 fuel to that destination over here. We can transit fuel up in the small one. Reveals says the next 3 resources, or status of 3 resources in the next system. Interesting. Not gonna do that. Definitely not here. Might be tempting to do that someplace else where we've got adequate titanium carbon fuel sources. We're waiting for people to arrive. You're making more fuel. Because we're about to have a very hungry ship arrive looking for more fuel. I think I want to take this guy back to the vault. Yeah, let's take you back to the vault. I could stop over, drop off the iron and the titanium. Yeah, let's stop over and drop off iron and titanium on the way. Okay, that's everything we need to make the alloy. It's gonna take a while to build enough alloy, but we can start. You're making fuel. You're making CO2, although it's not going to take you long to make enough. 3 stacks worth is a lot, though. Yeah, not going to take them very long to be done. Okay, so they'll be coming up looking for that order. We're looking for that fuel real soon. Okay, dropping the science off. Dropping the silica off. Dropping the iron off. And I suppose I can pick you up. I was going to have him build a ship, but we can have someone else build the ship. In fact, probably the ship wants to be built by the person who is our scout at the moment. Or maybe we'll do a rearrangement at some point to get this guy on the cargo ship or something. Or do I want this guy on the cargo ship? How close? How inoptimal do I want with this guy not being working? Because we've got 6 actions here, so we'll be up to 8 alloy. Okay. Yeah, we'll just delay him another turn. Fine. Oops. Wrong one. That still doesn't delay me a turn because we've got enough actions here that we'll be ready. Okay, so you're not going to do anything this turn. That's fine, because I want to save you for the scout, because the 6 Faith Scout can basically run most hazards safely. So we can do exploring down in the more hazard sections down here and in here, decide if we actually want to run the hazards with a ship with some cargo capacity. Oh, I'm in... Yeah, okay. I see how I'm confusing myself. I got the wrong ship selected. I'm thinking I have the ship selected. We only need like 2 to get back there? Yeah. I think we leave the 3 behind. Because the scout ship's going to want more fuel. If I'm assuming the really big ship can't land, right? Yeah, -5 thrust. Even our biggest engine is only 4 thrust, so it's not going to be able to land anything that requires thrust. So we might as well give it a 2 engine for efficiency. Yeah, higher efficiency engine for the bigger ship, I think makes sense. Oh, I see what I'm gonna do. We're gonna swap it with. So we're actually gonna bring the high efficiency one down to you. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. So you're gonna start heading back out. You're gonna potentially sit around a little bit bored. How sane would it be to build another one of those higher efficiency engines? Not, because I have no methane. Out of methane. No methane. Don't need the methane for the ship, and I need it for the... Oh, I need water for the ship. Huh. So I gotta drag some water up. I can do that. It's gonna be a little late. Need 8 water for the ship. I forgot to account for the water. Forgot to account for the water. Yeah, getting water to orbit won't be too hard. In fact, we've already got it on the ground. Because I'm only 1 water short. Okay. Okay. So I need the fuel in orbit now. Can't make enough fuel in orbit. Okay. Let's have you transit to orbit. Oh, you technically... No, you don't have enough to land here. So... Yeah, we're gonna have you get to orbit. Spend 2 fuel getting up. Dump the water. Dump the fuel. 9 fuel. We actually need more fuel here, so I'm going to transfer one of the guys... Oh, actually, I see what I'm going to do. We're going to transfer. Oh, I should have used an action on the planet. Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, then you can use the 2 fuel to get back down to the planet, where we make water a little bit more efficiently because we have more people here. And you arguably could go somewhere. I wanted you to Okay, I see what we can do. Grab the water. You take that back. We'll have the fuel ready, more ready by the time they're returned. Cool. Cool, cool. Over here, we're still working on alloys, although I think we're pretty much done. Yeah. Okay. You have arrived. You want more fuel, but that's fine. We're actually going to do a crew swap. So swap you for you. So the scout now has 6 faith and can very happily just breeze through most hazards. We drop off the iron and the alloy. You're going to do a fuel transfer, so the other cargo ship, the scout ship has more cargo space. Okay. These guys want to go get more fuel. They can't land on the planet, but they can go to orbit. Yeah, they can't land on the planet, but they can go to orbit. So let's take them to orbit. Send you off exploring. You are going to build a ship. One big ship next turn. Not this turn, next turn. Meantime, go hang out in the chapel. Have a little more faith. A little bit more faith in the plan. So as we produce fuel, so we got 6 fuel. You have the engine capacity to actually land. Let's go ahead and land. Not very fuel efficient to land, but you can. Now we got 6 actions on the fuel making planet, so you can be making fuel a lot faster. The water has arrived. You can make the massive ship, the massive Ibris. $12 cargo slots, 1 terribly large engine slot. We're a little bit less fuel efficient on this one for the moment. I do present myself with a problem. We don't have enough fuel to actually use the ship right away. Okay, so I don't need 6 of that fuel. Although if I put 2 more, it'll only take 4. Can you get there on 4? You can get there on 3. Okay, so we get you to orbits. We have massive cargo capacity. And then we can get you just burn straight there for refueling. 1 action, 4 to land. There we go. Roll for the hazard, 98% chance to get through the hazard safely. Do I want to run the gambit with other ships? 1 knowledge, 5 debris. That's enough that I'll harvest the debris. Obviously, we can't load on the ship because otherwise we don't have the fuel to leave. Fuel making, fuel making, fuel making. Okay, looking at the time, I should probably put a part break in here. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow. My original plan was to maybe try to slide through and do the entire remainder of the Banished Vault run in one part. This point, I think it's going to be 2 parts. I think the end of the system and the entire next system will probably be in the next part, based on how quickly it can be to... Well, to finish the run, we just need a Chronicle, right? So if the next system has a easy to do Chronicle, it'll be in and out and done real quick. But yeah, we got 16, 17 more turns here, mainly to try to pull the stasis out. We'd like to pull enough stasis out that we could skip a system if we need to. Just in case there's no hallowed planets in the system. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, they'll be put up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're going to have a short break here so you can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea, and then we will be continuing in the system. Everyone is now on the move. All 8 exiles are moving. The question is, can we get enough fuel, and can we get down to make the stasis and back up with everything we need? That is the question. So until next time, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.